World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving your checkup from the neck up on Soul City Broadcasting Network and WHCR 90.3 FM, the soul of Harlem. So I have the pleasure to meet with you, of course, every Thursday at 6 p.m. to bring you some information and hopefully awaken you on your financial journey. So important because things are happening. A lot of things are happening. It's an interesting time. And so, of course, I want to tell you that, if you want to be financially literate, you got to reach out and start to become a student of the world of finance, because they don't teach this in school. It's a sad situation. They should be teaching this from the time you know how to count 1, 2, 3, ABC, and of course, stocks, bonds, know the difference between them, and also the other things in the world that you can use to how money works. Stop being a sucker. Okay, so why I'm going to do that plug is that my partners, Tom Matthews and Steve Seabolt, wrote a book, and it's in Spanish and also in English, of course, English first. And if you'd like to get one of the books, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, all you have to do is send an email. I see finally y'all got to the knowing that's what you got to do, because this is a real book. It's not an ebook. Send the request to Anaja Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. Make sure you give me your address so I can mail it to you. But we mail it. It's free $99. Of course, you can get the book on Amazon and pay $20, but why pay when it's free $99? We got books here to be able to share, because what we want to do is bring financial literacy to the urban community. It's about time. It happens to be an urban community has been neglected. So the Black and brown people need to know how to invest their money and move towards their financial freedom, just like everybody else. This is not a Black thing, a brown thing, a white thing. It's a green thing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This has been an interesting week. Of course, the market now has closed at an all-time high that we haven't, all-time low that we haven't seen in a long time, 2008. And so it closed at 29,927.07. Now, what does that really mean? The Dow Jones, if you don't know it, it's time to learn. It is not the entire industry, okay? It's 30 companies that have been chosen to be monitored. And so it's not all stocks that are out here and the market is going to crash and all of that. Media does us a real disservice. That's why I love Soul City, because we get a chance to give the truth to you and give you some options to understand what you need to do on your journey of financial freedom. We all are working towards financial freedom, whether we've got a dollar in our pocket or air in our pocket, I should say, to when we have tens of millions of dollars. So you need to be able to know what to do and what's going on. Everybody's getting emotional. And the only reason why they're getting emotional is because they don't know and don't understand. And I understand that part, so that's why we're here at Soul City and Access Wealth Nation to give you some little informations and nuggets to deal with. So first and foremost, if you want to plan, then you know that you are planning to not fail. But if you don't have a plan, you probably are learning that you're going to fail in some way, shape, or form. You need a roadmap. Now, you need a roadmap in life. We all know that. We also need a financial roadmap. It's already set up to give us a little bit of a problem. That's why we have the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. You know how that title came about? It was because when we used to go into banks, now we resurging into banks. When you look to the left, you look to the right, what you see? You see some lollipops. We also call them suckers. On top of it, before we came out a few years ago with the book, there used to be dum-dums. I can't make this up. They had lollipops that said dum-dums at the front of the bank. Okay, that's telling you right there what they think about you. But because we know that was a setup. Why? Because the same company that sells and creates dum-dums creates Smarties. So why didn't they put the Smarties up front? So usually when I give the book out to individuals, I give them also some Smarties, because now you're becoming smart. And hopefully, as I tell folks, the information that you get, it is supreme. But without action, it's nothing. So you always, if you learn something, number one, share it. And if you want to change your life, then you start to use things that you've learned. So if you'd like a free financial analysis, you can give our office a call at Access Wealth Nation, Anaj Enterprises, and we'll give you a free financial analysis. That's when you've learned that you need to get a plan. And don't be shy. Don't be inhibited because you feel, oh, I just have a mess. I have dealt with a plenty of people who have a mess, and I have a plenty of people that we converted over and got them into prosperity. It can be done as long as as my mom used to say, you're a willing worker. You want to make sure that you can convert these things into an opportunity of your goals and your dreams and achieve it, whether it be a small dream or it's a large dream, whether it's a case of where you just want to be able to pay your bills to the extent that you want to buy multiple mansions. Dream. Martin Luther King said it so well. He said that it seems like people die before the age of 18. And I was like, that doesn't sound good. He said they just don't get buried until later. And I was like, okay, what's that mean? That means that we stop dreaming. When you stop dreaming, you die. That's it. So we need to bring the dreams back. What do we want to accomplish? And do things right. And don't let all of this media, even though we are a media company, don't let it sway you in your thoughts of limitation. because just like we have right now, people are talking, the news media is talking about the fact that we're embarking upon a recession. We've got inflation. Y'all know what inflation is? That means your buying power. So your dollar that used to could buy maybe, I don't know what it could buy for $1, maybe a bag of potato chips. Now you can't buy a bag of potato chips. You got to have $2 to buy the same bag of potato chips. Or like I thought about when I was coming up, there was a thing called penny candy. And you could buy, I even challenged it. I used to take my dollar and get 100 bazookas, and then I resell them for $2. But that's another story. I always found a way to make $1 into something else and multiply. But that being said, today you can't find a penny candy. It's usually like 5 cents or 10 cents for the same candy years later. So that's what you've got to understand, that the dollar is your buying power. Now, if you'd like to have some questions, because we're going to have some interaction, those of you who would like to ask some questions, I'm here for you. And the thing is that hopefully I can answer. If I can't, then we'll go find an answer for you. There's answers all over the place. But the key is, if you have questions, feel free to ask them and put them in the chat, and our producers will get it to me. I'm excited today. And I know many people said, well, the market dropped down so low. Okay. Are you retiring tomorrow? Then you shouldn't have been in the market in the first place. Okay. Do you have dreams and goals that are 5, 10 years away? Then you shouldn't be depressed that the market has gone down. Why? Because that is what the market does. It goes up, it goes down. Think about 2008. Now I'm going to date myself. I've been experiencing this market even in 1987 when that market crash occurred and I was on Wall Street. Market dropped. It was dropping at 500 points, like by the minute. We walk up 1 minute, it's 500 points down, then it's down. At that time, the market was a whopping 1,800 points. Look at us now. We're talking about 29,000. So what happened during that period? The market grew. So those that got in, even when I was talking to my clients, I said, let me hold your hand. I'm still doing that today, is telling folks, let me hold your hand through this, because there's a few things that you can do and weather through. Now, it's interesting right now, reports show that the job market is up. I don't necessarily see it all, but that's probably because over, 30 million individuals decided to go and work for themselves. The world of entrepreneurship has opened up. People get tired of other folks running their lives. Now, there's nothing wrong with the people who have jobs, okay? There's always got to be the people who work and the people who create the jobs, and you work for them. The thing is that if you're a person who is tired of folks telling you what to do and would like to tell some other folks to help you build how they can build your dreams and your goals, if that's the type of person you are, then you've got to find out what can you do at 7 a.m. and still do it by 7 p.m. and not do much other than maybe get up, go to the bathroom. That's your passion. If you find your passion, then you find out how you get people to pay you for your passion, because that's what you would work at, even if it was free. How I know that's an issue and something that we need to do is model yourself off of some of the folks who are successful entrepreneurs. And what is that? Now, I know some of y'all know the cleaning fluid called 409. I love this story, and everybody who's ever heard me speak out in the public know that this is a powerful story. Why? The guy who created 409, the reason why it's called 409 is because he failed 408 times. Now that's a passion. You sit there, say, finally it worked. Aha, eureka. And so that's the kind of passion you have to have if you want to work for yourself. So that's why I'm talking about different topics, because this is a serious time. And it is a time by which we have to be focused and know what we're doing. Okay, unless we got stock in the Federal Reserve or start printing currency, ruling elite who keep you class and caste structure. Okay, cone on cis below. I don't know what the cone on. Okay, maybe that's the sign. I'm sure that they're saying unless we got money in the Federal Reserve or stock in the Federal, you don't have stock in the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the one that prints the money. You got to find where the Federal Reserve puts their money. How do they create and print the money? There's things that we can do, and we're going to talk about that today. Okay, and if I misunderstood your message, please resend it because I'm not clear exactly what you're saying, but I will say that we have to be, no matter what we do, we wake up in the morning, what you do, you brush your teeth. Okay, what's in that in the teeth is that brushing your teeth, you buy toothpaste or you got baking soda, whatever you use. That's something that you use. That's something that you purchase. That means that's a stock that company owns if it's public, which 9 times out of 10 it is. And public means that it's traded. And if that's the case, you are in the market. If when you get out, you go to the store, or you go to get on a bus, train, drive a car, all of that's related to the market. We see that now, even if it's not stock, it may be bonds. Okay, but you're in the market. Your job is in the market. Your clothes in the market. You control a lot of the market because you're the ones that are out there buying, and some of you may be selling. It's the market, So it's not like it's something foreign to us. And people tell me all the time, I don't want to go into the market. Well, then you don't want to breathe, because that's what the market is. It's everything that we do is related to those dollars. So if you're talking about the Federal Reserve, yeah, we are in that market too. And we control, but we have some things we can do to control. So yes, the stock market has been going down, and really y'all should be saying, if you're not retiring right now, you should be saying yay. If you did retire, your fixed income should still stay the same. The only problem is inflation. So therefore you got to think wiser. How am I buying things? Am I buying things just to have it? Am I buying things because I need it? Can I co-op buy? Which means that can I get together with a few friends and we head out and we buy bulk so that we lessen our costs? There's so many things we can do other than sit and complain. I'm not a complainer. I'm one that's a solution. I do solutions. So in respects to it, I took a little bit of a time to look and see some of the things that we need to do with this market dropping. And there are millionaires made when the market drops, believe it or not, because people come up with new ideas. So one thing that we have to monitor, we can look at inflation. Now, inflation, when we started out all the way from 2002, we were somewhere around 2% inflation. Now we're rising up to 8%. What does that mean? Our buying power of our dollar has reduced. And we know it because when we go out and we go to eat out, or even if we're in the position of where we're selling stuff, we know that it costs more to produce. Just be aware and be able to budget. I know I just cursed, right? Because everybody says a budget is a pain, but you need to do that. Write down your expenses, especially your fixed expenses. Take a look at what you're really spending on. And if you don't want to do that, you can always get a financial advisor or a financial educator. And if you don't know any, then you can contact our office at 646-375-2121. And we will help you with that budget. Why? Because everything that you do is related to how much money you take in and how much money you are able to spend. Okay. And when you do that, you look at your fixed costs. Right now is a good time to take a look at your spending ways. Like, how many of y'all take your telephones and subscribe, and don't ever go back to unsubscribe? That's money. It can be in excess of $20 on one subscription. People becoming rich on you and you don't even realize it. Go and cut them. Unsubscribe. Don't use it. Don't pay for it. Doesn't make sense. Also, things that you got to look at. Okay, we got cable and internet. Well, there's a lot of things that are out there you can use to cut that cost. If you're not really needing to know the news right now and watch a television show immediately, there are vehicles that, and I'm not promoting anybody, so therefore, unless they're going to put some sponsorship at Soul City, but you can subscribe and get one uh, uh, internet channel and see all the things that you want to see. You may not get it real time, but you can. The same thing with where we are. Everybody, for some reason, when they see my show, they do more watching in anything other than 6 p.m. They're doing it in the nighttime. We do get records of this, and it's just amazing to me. Okay, I got Cynthia. How can one get an open line of credit against their own name signature for emergency repay? Okay, I guess that's a Y it's supposed to be. Repay is an okay, y'all typing too fast. Repairs. Thank you. Repairs is medical services not covered by insurance. So you want an open line of credit against your own name signature for emergency repairs. Okay. So you can, and I also divert to our other network show, which is Legacy, what is it called? Oh, Leverage Your Credit with Tyrone Glover on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. But there are things that you can do in dealing with. You can get a secured card to start. But if you want an open line of credit, it's more so talking about either you have a business or you have your home. And your home would create an open line of credit. That would be out of the equity. You got to have something to get something. So you can do that. Or if it's the case of you want to be able to have just an emergency fund, you can also use the secured credit card. That means you're putting money away periodically in case of emergency. There are 7 money milestones that you need to pay attention to. And of course, they're listed in the book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. So if we take a little look at these 7 money milestones, the first one is a financial education. So whenever we do anything here at Access Wealth Nation, we are bringing forth financial education to you. But also you have to have proper protection if something should happen. So sometimes you can find, and some of them work, these discount medical charging that you can get some basic help, dental too. Those are the things that you can get. Okay, is this different from a HELOC? The HELOC is a home equity loan. So that's definite. The secured credit card is what you control. It's usually by one of the services out here, credit card services, because they're making money off of you. It's no secret. It's just like the bank. You put your money in, you get a little bit of interest. When you use it, it charges you a little interest, and you're feeding that account for emergencies. So that's that. The HELOC can work, but you have to be careful with the HELOC. Now, the new tax laws run that if you're using home equity, that Mr. Trump created, which was really not for the people. But what it does is that new tax credit has limitations if you take a HELOC or if you take refinance. and put money into something like paying off credit cards or paying off medical bills. The new law says if you take an equity loan, then you have to use it for the home. So be very careful. And again, I always will say it. Please make sure you sit with a financial advisor and sit with your accountant or, your finance person so that you can know the laws that are out here. We also have your emergency fund. That's why we were talking about the emergency fund. We should all be working towards our emergency fund. What does that mean? That means, if you wind up putting a little money in that cookie jar or that water bottle, we've all done it. We take every bit of change and put it in there. That could be your emergency fund, but usually your emergency fund should grow to at least 3 to 6 months worth of your take home pay. And when you use your emergency fund, make sure you put that money back, work towards putting that money back. Of course, I have a few games to make it fun because I think savings need to be fun. So there's a game that you play that's called Hoard Your Fives. You know how when we have that $20 bill, we become David Copperfield, it disappears. Well, what we have to do is instead of it disappearing, if you got a $5 bill in there, you need to put it away. And if you keep doing that, you'll see your emergency fund starts to grow. There's also saving $1 for every week in the year. Before you know it, you've saved $1,378. Wonderful. Okay. Do you assist with this process, getting an open line of credit from my home? I don't do it, but I do have people that do it. I have connections, everything I don't do, but we can do it because it's also, which we'll do this offline, is to find out how much of a line of credit you want to get. Because you can do it, but sometimes it's limited. So we can talk about that offline for sure. But I do have someone who does do that, create lines of credit. Okay, I hope that helped you. We got to do debt management. We're talking about the debt management, creating debt, utilizing our credit, utilizing our property. The only two ways you get money out of a house is that you sell it or you refi. Or you can get a line of credit. Okay, so that's some of the things that you can do. Okay, question, explain. You're going to have to slow up typing. What is debt? I can't read that word. Pillage of the masses. I don't know what pillage. I'm not familiar with that word. Or is it spelled wrong? Okay, P-I-E-A-G-E. The best thing when y'all must mean something else because it's not even coming up. Okay, if you spelled it wrong, please repeat and send me something. Okay. We talked about debt management, cash flow, doing your budget, bringing in more money. There's a lot of people who do what we call the gig economy. So we have to find out what we need more in our income. Sometimes we do things that we can, like I talked about, doing things that you would do even if you didn't get paid. Well, sometimes you just got to find a way to get paid. There's little things that you can do, such as you can become, do taxes. You can, be an advisor. Okay. Some of the other things, you can walk dogs. Some people, there was one woman years ago that was on 60 Minutes. She got paid for hugging. She hugged people because people are so void of touch. She got paid. It was $60 for, I think it was 30 minutes worth of a hug. There's things that you can do. And last but not least, you've got to build your wealth. No matter what the economy is doing, you've got to build your wealth. And that means putting away a little, sense. Okay, we have a little technical difficulty. Okay, I'm back. All righty. And again, we have to make sure that no matter what, especially in this age of COVID, we have to be very careful to make sure that we have our assets in order. If you've got insurance, then you make sure that it's got the proper beneficiaries. If you have if you don't have a will, then make sure that you write out something, letters of instruction for people. You know, death comes fast, and you've got to make sure that people don't get confused or get it twisted of what's going to happen to you, because you get to say that. Even to the extent I started writing my own will, because as I'm getting older, it seems like there's less and less people who can tell my story. So sometimes you just got to put your assets together and make sure that the next generation and the next generation and the next generation have something to parlay off, because we've got to build legacies. So those are the 7 money milestones, which are in the book. And hopefully that can help you to start building your financial roadmap. Now, I figured today everybody's a little upset about the market. And I'm saying yay, and folks are looking like she got something wrong with her head. No, when the market is down, that's when you go in and you buy low, sell high. For some reason, people get fearful and they sell high, they sell low and buy high. Haven't really figured that one out. I know it's all emotional. So I thought I'd teach you something today that is called dollar cost averaging. Now, what is that? So in the world of dollar cost averaging, it's something like this example here. If every month you put away $100, $1,000, I'm sorry, your investment is $1,000 every month. So that's $12,000 that you have for the year. So I'm going to read it because it's a little small on the screen. So if the price of the stocks that you bought were $100, then, or, you know, you put away money and its value that could be related to that infamous inflation. But in this case, we're dealing with some stocks or investment type and investment performance. This is fund A, and then there's fund B. So here, to see the difference that occurs, you're putting in $1,000 the first month at $100 per unit. That means you bought 10 units. The next month, the unit went up $2. So you get to buy 9.8. The next month, you're putting in that same $1,000, you get 104.404 per unit. So now you can't buy as much. You're buying 9.61. The next one, price per unit went up. So you're happy because the price is going up, 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 but you're buying less units. So at the very end, you have $12,000 that you put into your investment. Now you've bought 107.82 units by doing so. The price kept going up. You kept buying. Your total investment value at the end of your 12 months would be $13,401. Not bad, you're still ahead, but look what happens when the market goes up and down. That's fund B, investment performance. You're still putting in $1,000 every month. The first time you put in the first month, the price unit was 100. Okay, so you bought 10. The second month, it dropped, just like what we're seeing now, right? It dropped, and you were able, though, to buy 11.5 units. It went down again. Now, some of you would look and say, I got to get out of this. I'm losing money. Don't stop till you get it done. $77.50 per unit, but you got 12.9 units. Keep going. Fourth month, it dropped again to 72. Still your $1,000, but now it's valued at less. So you think, right? That's 13.88 units that you were able to buy. Then it dropped to 69. Oh my goodness. 69.6. You still put your 1,000 in because you had your financial educator or you had your accountant who said, stay in, keep staying every month. Okay, so you bought 14.36 units. Next month, 68.6. You put the 1,000 in again. You got 14.57. It drops again, but it goes up a little bit more, 20 cents more. So now you got 14.53. Then all of a sudden it starts to go up again, 70. So you get 14.28. I'm going to keep going because I know it's hard to see. Ninth month, you got 72.9. You still put your $1,000 in. So now you got 13.71 units. So you're like, okay, this goes, I got more units, but I got less money, don't I? Do you? 78.6 per unit is the price. You got 12.72. Now you got a little less more units because the price went up. The 11th month, you got 87.4. You put your $1,000 in and you got 11.44 units. And then the market goes back up to the $100 per unit per price. So at that point, you have put in $12,000. Look what you have. You have 153.89 units. Okay, I'm hoping you're seeing this and grasping it because your total value of investments, when that investment, those units went back up to their regular price, you are now, instead of having 13,401, you have 15,389. Which one would you have rather been as an investor? Think about it. 15,000 as opposed to 13,000. But all during that time, you might have needed someone to hold your hand and give you an idea of that what could be, not necessarily will be, but could be. And the only way you can really manage this is to stay steady. So my message to you, especially with this market going, if you have your 401ks, your 403bs, your 457s, your IRAs, this is a time that you keep going slow and steady. You remember that old fable that said the hare versus the tortoise? Well, the tortoise won, didn't he? Because he did slow and steady. So when the market goes down, you should be thinking, do I have any extra money? Can I add to it? And stay out of the fear zone. Fear and faith can't be in the same place. So what you need to do is to be able to put yourself in a position of where you can get more shares unless you're looking to sell right away. That's when it becomes a little bit more difficult. But this is the money, what we call our safe money that we're putting in and benefiting from the market, making more money. See, these are the things that we can do. This is some of the things, but also we need to learn to focus in on our budget, and then also to be ready to make some changes and put more money into our investment structure. And if you're not sure what to do, get your financial advisor and get them to show you how you can benefit by putting away a little bit of time. Shoot, if you think about it, $1,000, but the same thing can happen with $100. So if you have issues and need to get some financial help, go to our company, send us an email at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com, and we will be glad to sit with you. I have trained advisors that will be able to draw up a plan for you and then help you through it. It's not just about the drawing the plan, it's the implementation. We're in an era of where, it's on the internet, but I still don't understand it. Yeah, I got the information, but I don't know how to implement it. And so that's where we have the ability to give you some help and guidance, and then hold your hand during these rocky times that we have right now, to be able to get you through the rough waters. It's like when I remember in 1987 when the market crashed, and I called people up because at that time IBM dropped like a rock. And I told folks, we got a sale. And when you think about it, dollar cost averaging is just that. It's like we have a sale. We can buy more with it and it'll be worth more later. It can't be the get rich now, because right now we have the market going down. But guess what? So is all the other things that people have been toting, like Bitcoin, that's down by like 50%. The market itself is down by a little bit under 20%, and it's rebounding back and forth. It depends on what you're invested in. But the key is that if you have a plan, then you're not planning to fail. And that's what we're here to do, is to make sure that we get success. Our goal is we periodically have seminars and education seminars to get you to the level so that you can learn. And then once you know better, you'll do better. Okay, we're coming close to the end of the hour. There anybody have any other questions, statements? Okay, nope. Okay, all righty then. So I appreciate you all. I'm hoping that you learned something today and be able to make a difference in your life. Everything that we do has to have some kind of plan and strategy. And so we just offer you a strategy so that you can get out of the rough waters. Because if you don't have that plan, you really are looking at some really rough times. This world is changing by the seconds, by the thought. And you can get in it, or you can just be a victim of it. It's your choice. Okay. And so to the producers, do we have anything else that people have questions? I'm seeing some stuff, but I can't. Okay, here we go. You're welcome, Cynthia. I'm hoping that, we can get together and try to work out that line of credit, because that's what we need to do with the properties we have. We need to leverage them. And if we don't leverage them, the rule that, what was his name? John D. Rockefeller said it. You need to be in a position where you own nothing but control everything. That's just words of wisdom, because those are the people who set up our capitalistic money system. So you can either be a part of it or you can be one that's a victim of it. You decide what position you're in. Okay, so that's all that I have for today. Okay, here we go. Another statement is, what does it mean Amazon did to do a 20-to-1 stock split? Okay. A stock split means that the company issued stock on the exchange, or one of the exchanges, to be traded. For everybody that held a stock, what they were able to do is, for every one stock that they had, they got 20. Now, that doesn't mean that it was valued differently. Usually it does not get valued differently. So if that means that the stock went down, they valued down. So for one, it might have been worth originally $100, but instead they're going to give you, for your 20, you're going to get 5. 5, it's going to be at the value of 5. I'm sorry, at the value of 5. So that still equals the same $100, but you've got more. Why is that good? Because when it goes back up from whatever, if it was $20, it moves back to 100, similar to like dollar cost averaging. You've got more money, more value. That's a way which the company gets a chance to start to raise more money. So we have in this capitalistic society abilities to increase and raise money for our businesses if we're in business. That's a difference. When we say we're in business to make a profit. We're not in business to just take losses on our income taxes, because if you're doing that, then you're really not in business. That's how many people lost the opportunity for IDLs and PPPs loans, because they weren't in business. They didn't register themselves right. If you're going to do this, do it right. And again, if you need help with that, you can also contact us at Anaj Enterprises and just let us know you heard it on Access Wealth Nation. Yes, you can reach us at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com. I appreciate y'all for coming on board and listening to our show, and hope you learned something. Are there any other more questions? If not, then I'll sort of close up kind of early. If there's not anything else, I hope you learned about dollar cost averaging and not be running away from the market. These are the things that are so important to know and to work through, because we've got a lot to do and a lot to learn. And above all, we need to save and save for our future. One thing I will say that is known is that we're going to live long. Okay. Some people die young, but a lot of people are living long. They say that right now we have over, 127,000 people in this country that are over the age of 100. And their age of 100 is not the same as our ideas. We ain't rocking no chair in rocking chair and doing nothing. They're out here swimming and skydiving and setting up businesses and starting new careers. So you got to have some money to live, or there'll be less food for you to eat. Okay. Do you have seminars? Yes, we do have seminars, and I post them on Soul City, and also I post them on Access Wealth Nation. Both of them are on Facebook. You can reach there. We send it out. And also the Soul City Network, we advertise on that. That's on Roku, Comcast, Verizon. We all over the place. But you will hear, if you access Wealth Nation and join us and what they say, subscribe to us, we'll be glad to send you information. But every Thursday at 6 p.m., we're here giving you some checkup from the neck up information in whatever levels and making a difference from time to time. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you got all your questions answered, and that we'll see you again on this Thursday, next Thursday coming. And I'm also going to be on YouTube with Mr. Lloyd Strayhorn at, I believe it's 7 p.m. I will be speaking on that, Mr. Numbers. I hope y'all know about him. I live by his chart that he does for me, but he has classes also. So this Monday, the 20th, I will be on his show. And I have a few more things that are coming up. I know Juneteenth, I'll probably be somewhere talking on the 20th. Is it the 20th? Yeah. The 20th of, no, that was the 20th. That's the 20th. Then I also, we're having an economic summit coming. We're working with Harlem Week to be out. I'll be out there with the Soul City Network. So if you have questions and you're a little shy to put your questions out here, you can talk to me in person. And so, but we will be building a series, because we have a series of financial literacy seminars, and we cover everything that I talked about with the 7 money milestones and more. And we leave it open for folks to ask questions. We just finished one of our sessions that was just done this Tuesday. And it was on basically, are you ready? Do you know what your number is for retirement? Did you know you needed to have a number? The average person, by the time they reach retirement, should have $1 million. And with 4% to keep them going, and living comfortably, that would mean about $40,000 that they would be able to draw. Now, some people don't even make $40,000, unfortunately, in this country, but that would be what you would be able to galvanize if you have $1 million. The easier way to get that, and we have a session on that, is how we call it is that the cost of waiting. If you're in your 20s, you need to get busy and get started saving. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be as little as $120 a month. But if you wait till you're in your 50s or 60s, you're looking at about $3,000, $4,000 a month. And many of y'all go, oh, that's not happening. But some people do that. What they do is, as a couple, one puts the money away and the other one puts and pays the bills. That can be done. Just make sure you got a good contract so that, you're not dealing with Judge Judy trying to get your money if something happens. Okay. So anyway, it's been a joy. And again, I thank you for attending and listening. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Come every Thursday at 6 p.m. Bring your questions. I probably next week will be talking about, and get your children who just got out of college, get them on here, because I'm going to be talking about what you have to do to prepare for this workforce. I have listened to a number of young people. They don't understand what the W-4 is, why they got to pay taxes out of the money. What is Social Security? What's Medicare tax? How do I figure out that I don't have to owe them the government? So those questions are going to be answered next week. So tune in. And this is Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse with Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Network. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your minds.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is